to another episode of Making It with Marcus and Marianna. I'm Marianna.
And I'm Marcus. Today we have a very special guest, someone that's very important to me. He's been in my life for a long time. He's a barber, entrepreneur, father, comedian, jack of all trades. My man, Garrick Dixon.
Hey, yeah, for myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're very glad to have you, Bran, and I'm very excited. Garrick, for all of you that don't know, he's been my barber for damn near 15 years now. We've had a lot of conversations sitting in that chair. He knows basically everything about me. I know a lot about him. I'm just really excited to have you here and talk about the things that you do in your life.
I must say this is a proud moment for me. I mean, because I've been cutting Marcus hair since he was about 10 years old, and now he's with his girlfriend. And like I remember when Marcus's girlfriend was his hand, but now he actually has a real life girlfriend.
Yeah,
and so it's probably better than your hand.
damn right.
So this is good to see. I feel like a proud uncle.
Literally,
I would say that,
yeah.
but I feel like a proud
No,
uncle.
definitely like
He's nice looking. So I see what you're doing. You got good taste.
appreciate you.
So I raised you well.
Oh, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah. Raised them well.
That's awesome. Well, yeah.
Okay, well, on a serious note, Garrick is also from the East Coast like we are, and he's been cutting hair for about 35, I don't want to say real number, but 35 years.
Yeah.
He is a pro, he is experienced, he takes his craft to another level. And, tell us about how you got here to the West Coast, making your dreams a reality as a barber and a comedian and an actor.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I started cutting hair at 12 years old in my parents' bathroom. Like I was a kid in my parents' bathroom cutting everybody's hair. And it started because my father started cutting my hair, right? I was one of the kids. My father used to cut my hair in the kitchen, set the newspaper up, and all that stuff. In this movie, like y'all parents probably remember this movie, it was called Breaking'. And Breaking' is an old hip hop movie.
Sure.
And it was a character on that Turbo, and he had a high top. So I said to my dad, I was like, hey man, can you cut me a high top? Oh yeah, I got you, son. And I'm like, all right. So he cut my hair. When he handed me the mirror, I looked like a unicorn.
Oh, no.
So it wasn't the high top what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then when you're a black kid in a black neighborhood, and you go outside, everybody teased me.
It's a wrap.
My nickname till this day, that neighborhood is My Little Pony. Everybody called me from now on My Little Pony. So I was like, we can't do this no more. So at 12 years old, my brother was cutting his hair, and then I started cutting mine. And then I was a kid, I was cutting everybody's hair in high school. It started off, you get one or two clients, Reggie, Daryl, those were my best friends. Hey, I cut hair now. You 12 years old. I'm messing their hair up, but it was all good. By my junior year, I'm cutting everybody in school. And I've been doing it ever since, just growing the business. So it was something that I love to do. For me, it's not a job.
Yeah, that's
Like-
dope that it's something you're kind of passionate about and you just love doing it.
Yeah,
I always question, like, does it ever kind of get repetitive over time, or like?
No, I converse with my friends. I like to say I converse with my friends, and they pay me very well. Like I probably make $20,000 off to you.
You never
all
know.
these
Yeah,
years.
probably.
So you pay for this whole outfit. This is this ain't even H&M. This is Marcus.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Marcus right here. So
that car you got outside might be Marcus too.
I'll
take that for you.
Which is a nice Tesla, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Marcus too. So it's a Marcus look instead of
It's
Tesla.
a Marcus
I
letter.
love that.
So so that's how I got here.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But your friends helped you. You were just like, let me cut your hair as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. I mean, you're a friend of Marcus and you're on our podcast. It's really about getting people who you love and trust you to help you make your career. Who has also inspired you other than like a bad haircut to get you to where you are?
Inspiration. I mean, it was always comics, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Jerry Seinfeld. Those are the dudes. And then my father, like just seeing him run his own business. He had a transmission shop, and it was called Universal Transmission. And when I was in high school, my barbershop was called Universal Barbershop. So seeing him being an entrepreneur was one of those things where I was like, you can do it.
I can do it too.
Yeah, you can do it too. And then it's like I went to college route and all that stuff and worked in corporate America. But it was like I didn't foresee myself doing that for the rest of my life.
Sure.
One of the things, I was 27 and I was in my office making $77,000 a year. And this is back in 2001, which is good money.
Yeah, big.
And I was like, you know what? I'm in here. I never want to look back and say I didn't go for it.
100%.
And I was like, you know what? While I'm young, not married, no kids, I'm moving to California. And I knew I wasn't a scrub in Maryland, and I wasn't going to be a scrub out here. Because a lot of people fear moving to a different place because they don't know if they can make it. If you made it where you're from, you're going to do the same thing that you did where you're from, but on a bigger scale.
Sure.
So in Maryland, I probably was sleeping with 2 or 3 women. When I moved to California, it was 200 or 300. You know, it was just on a bigger scale, and it was all different races. You know, in Maryland, it was just black.
Just black.
I didn't even know what Armenia was. I'm like, oh,
I didn't know either.
I had to try it, right?
Y'all white girls with black bodies. Okay, this is what I like. And yeah, and I'm sending my boys pictures back home. I'm like, look, this is Kim K. But yeah, so but it's just believing in yourself. It's just believing in yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. And when you came, when you first came out to LA, was it something you were aspiring to? Was barber, like, you know, being a barber, like your first thought, or was it kind of taking a different route?
Stand-up comedy. I moved out here because I was doing comedy in Maryland, and I was getting good and getting known, and I wasn't a star in Maryland, but I was like, everybody, it is true, you should conquer your city first and then move to California. But I was like, you know what? I'll grow in California. So it was doing stand-up comedy. I was making my way, doing all the comedy clubs, going on the road with Tony Rock, featuring for him. And what happened is I moved out here, my money started running out. And I was like, after about 3 or 4 months, because it's LA, you're going out all the time. Expensive. I was like, and when you sleep with 200 or 300 women, that can get expensive. You got to go to movies. You got to see the same movie 10 different times. Laugh like you ain't seen that part before, knowing the joke is coming up, but you got to act like you ain't seen it before. So my money started running out, and I was like, I'm not going back to corporate America. The first barbershop I went in was in North Hollywood, and I got my job there. And it was one of the best things because a lot of celebrities used to come in. So I was getting celebrity clients, and being an East Coast dude in California, we cut the hair differently.
Sure.
So it was like, yo, the dude can cut. So I was getting a lot of celeb clients. And then, you know, also cutting hair too. And it just happened that the thing that I'm known for with the comedy and barbering, it's the 2 things that I love the most that I combine to create magic.
Exactly. And speaking of magic, what do you mean by that? Like, what are things that you guys are working on as a project in that way?
Well, I tell you, like in 2015, we started, on YouTube, I have over 100 million views.
Yes, you do.
Humbly bragging. Humbly. But I have over 100 million views from doing barber-related content. Like funny barbershop stuff that goes on in the barbershop every day. Stinky breath, client relate, all that type of stuff. We looked at what happens in our environment and how can we add a spin to it. So like between 2015 and 19, my YouTube page was growing and it attracted me to 50 Cent. He had me on his show and everything. And we just basically, in the barber world, we started doing the funny barbershop videos. Now you see them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we were like the pioneers of it.
Yeah, man. I feel like I remember sitting in the chair multiple times in the cut and seeing you guys. Like, actually, I've walked into an appointment. You're like, you know what? Sit down. We're gonna finish this sketch. And I mean, I saw the original. Like, they feel like the original sketches, and they were the funniest things to see live in person. So to see where you come from with it now is dope to me.
But the crazy thing about that too is we didn't know, man. We were acting, directing, casting. Like we were doing all the stuff. And myself and my boy Dice, we were editing the videos. So when you're shooting, you know how you want to edit it. And you telling people what to do. So you're a director, you're editor, then you got to get some hot girls in there. Out of the 200 or 300, I call a couple of them, and they come in. And so you casting, direct, everything. And it was just, we were having fun. Like it was dope because it was fun. Here's a jewel for anybody watching this. Relatability is more important than funny. It has to be funny, but when it's relatable, the video spreads. So the videos that we did that were relatable took off. Some of the videos when we stepped outside the box and we like, because you think man, this is crazy. We're about to kill it.
Yeah.
50 views. And we're like, God damn, what the fuck?
I know.
So relatability is more important and funny, but it's also to just finding your passion and what you like to do.
Being original with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what people attract.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how have you taken all of these skits and everything? And I know you were talking with us earlier that you have this amazing project coming up.
Okay. Yeah.
So with this project, you are working with other barbers.
Mm-hmm.
You are on camera. You're taking every little thing you've just, for the past couple years, been working on as a director, as a writer, as an editor. How are you bringing that to your own like projects now that we're about to see soon?
It's dope. So Aspire Network coming out September, mid-September to end of September. I have a barbershop reality show interviewing celebrities. 8:00 on Thursdays. But it was like everything. It's funny, man, because when you start something, you never know where it's going to take you. And there was a guy that used to come in the old shop in the cut, and he was like, he was always, and God speaks to you, and you don't know it until something happens. And then you're like, yo, he was speaking, and I didn't even know. My friend Jamie, he's actually the creator of the show. He would come in the shop, and he was like, Garrick, I want to work with you or something. He was like, bro, I just love you, because I had him in sketches and stuff. He was like, bro, I just love everything about you. And he was trying to get me in the show called In the Cut. That was on on Bounce TV.
Okay, yeah.
He was trying to get me in there, and I auditioned. I didn't get the part, but he was like, we're going to work on something. And then during the pandemic in 2021, he called me and he was like, bro, I want to do a barbershop show about your shop, and his celebrities come in. So it was just like, it was God telling him what was going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
But it was all the hard work. And when you're working hard, sometimes you don't see the end result. Like, you're like, damn, why I don't have no girlfriend anymore? You know what I'm saying? Why I don't have a girlfriend?
100%.
Why my relationships ain't working? Why am I working so hard? Then sometimes you could doubt yourself. Like, man, I need to be like everybody else and just come home and do such. Yeah. But then one day when you're not expecting it, your hard work will pay off and things will come, and then you're like, that's what it was all about.
I noticed that in myself a lot of times. Like, there's times where I'm busting my ass at work the whole day. And even like a situation like this, like I just came from work today and I knew we were going to tape the podcast. Today I'm always usually hyped for it. But there's definitely been times where I'm like, oh man, like I wish I could get home and just like chill, honestly, because I'm tired from the whole day. But you know what? After doing this and putting out episode after episode and knowing that we're consistent with it and sticking to it, I agree with you that it's going to pay off. Like eventually we're going to see whatever this does become. We're going to see the payoff.
And it's never, here's very important, it's never on your time. It's never on your time. Whatever you believe in, I feel like it's on God's time. Like, things are happening now. I was talking to my dad about the show and everything. He said, son, you know, it's on God's time. I was like, you're right, because in my 20s, I probably would have been trying to smash him, hang out in the 20s, early 30s. But now I'm in my late 40s. It's not even about that anymore. I'm still getting texts from 200, 300 women,
of course,
but I don't even answer a lot of them anymore. But it's not even about that. Like, it's not even about that. If y'all watching, hey, what's up, boo? I'm focused now.
He said, boo, boo.
But you know, it's all on his timing. And then you'll know.
That's dope. I love that.
So for young, aspiring barbers, comedians, actors, live in Hollywood, don't live in Hollywood, what's some advice that you would give to them going into their career?
Be true to your authentic self. Like with me, I was funny and I'm a barber. If you're a chef, be a chef. In your barbershop, make some cookies or whatever. Even if you're a chef that likes weed, you might want to make some edible cookies and sell them in the shop. If you're an artist that's good at designs, do that type of work, but be authentic for who you are. Stay authentic in that. And then if it's good, people will come and people will gravitate towards you. If you're a good talker and everything, you'll get clients in your hair because you're in your chair, because you're like a therapist. So for any barbers, I would say, just be your authentic self. If you build it, they will come. And just believe in it and keep going. And don't listen to anybody that tells you to stop. Don't listen to them. Do what's in your heart. If it's not coming from your heart, shit might not work out for you.
That's not right.
Yeah,
I love that.
I hear that big time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a question. I have a friend, a coworker that he does cut hair on the side, but he's like very timid about it because he doesn't want to mess up as much as like he's done it to himself and he's like, I'm cool messing myself up, but he doesn't want to just keep bringing friends in and messing them up. You said that you've been through that when you were young and just started off because that's just how it goes. But what's something that you could say like for him to like actually to break past that?
Keep going. I got my ass beat many a times. It was a lot of fights in my parents' basement.
Oh, okay.
From me fucking dudes' heads up. I got a scar right here. Dope. This is from Marcus. This is from Reggie. This is from Darren. But you just keep going. Like if it's something that you love, you'll continue to do it. Like when I started, it was no YouTube, so I'm learning on the spot.
Yeah.
I remember my first day, like coming out of high school. I was cutting hair in college. And my man Chuck L, shout out Chuck L. I was cutting Chuck and he was like, yo, we got to open at the barbershop. My first I remember I'm the man in high school.
Yeah.
I'm the man on campus cutting everybody. My first day in the shop, I go in there, I'm cutting this dude's hair. He had grease in his hair. Now, one of the things, I'm scared because I'm only 18 years old. I'm 18 years old in a barbershop with grown ass men. So he had grease in his hair. And I didn't want to tell him, hey, excuse me, brother, we got to wash the grease out. I cut his hair. And now when you have grease, it sticks to the clippers.
Sure.
You go home and wash it. It may look different. So I cut his hair. He went home and washed it. He came back that day and was like, hey, man, dude messed up my hair. Look at this shit like chicken's been plucking at my damn head. Bop, bop. Oh. And he did the noise. So I said, nigga, you ain't got to do the noise.
Yo,
he's like,
crazy.
And so my first day, I'm like, and he was right. He went home and washed it. It was so bad. I was like, damn, who fucked your head? I'm the guy that was my client. And so that was my first day. And I was like, yo, they're going to fire me. Like, I'm about to get fired. But my man, Vaughn, who was my mentor, Vaughn was like, don't worry about it. Dude complains a lot. And he had grease in his head. You good. So it was, for me, it was embarrassing as hell. But I kept with it, bro.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's really cool that you had like a kind of a mentor in that way to let you know like shit's gonna happen. Yeah. There's other reasons why that happened. Mm-hmm. That's dope to see. Do you like nowadays? Do you come across guys that you mentor actively, like that are new to barbering?
Like I'll speak at barber schools, Paul Mitchell, like different schools. I speak at a lot of different schools, and then when some people DM me, it's funny now, man, because now you don't realize that you aging until people start calling you the OG. Like see, y'all ain't at that level yet. But they'll DM me like, hey, OG, I know you've been through it probably 20 years ago. I'm like, damn, so
need to call me out.
But they're like, well, yeah, OG, you've been through it, and then I'll help them out. Like, I'm always willing to help. Like, I pride myself on, because people will be like, bro, you actually answered your DMs.
Right.
And then other people, because they give you this title, celebrity barber, to me, we just fucking barbers.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
We just barbers at the end of the day. But I'll actually reply back to people when they ask me questions.
I like that.
So it is, but whenever somebody asks me, or when I speak at schools, that's my way of like mentoring.
That's very cool. Because I not that I'm getting messages and DMs and stuff like that, but recently I've been getting messages on LinkedIn just from people that want to get into production and want to work in the position I'm in. And I'm like, you know what? It actually feels really good for me to give them an answer of how and why I do what I do. And I think that if I had that when I was growing up in the industry, I think it would have been a big help for me. So I would love to just pass that down.
Especially what's dope is y'all learn it on the spot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't realize how much you learn until people ask you questions.
Right.
And then you're like, oh shit, I've been through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's always good. Like some dudes, they'll ask me, I know you've been with a lot of women, like my penis is burning. What do you think that is? And I'm like, oh, that happened to me back in 97.
Yeah,
so you go to the doctor, they're going to give you penicillin or you'll get shot in the butt.
Exactly.
And just make sure you strap up next time. And, I'll mentor them.
Kind of on that subject, did you create a ball spray?
No, I'm thinking of it like, okay, because there's no black ball sprays.
Right.
Like we talk about, like they have ball wash and they have ball spray. But I want to freak it with, it's, no Diddy, it's for black balls. That's what's the name, it's for black balls. Like black balls might be a little stronger than some of the lighter pigmentation balls. So they need a higher dosage of scent. So it's something that I'm exploring because there's no black ball spray out there. And my name is Dixon. So
I think it fits.
Yeah, it fits.
No Diddy.
Yeah, we put the dick in Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
So on another note, I know you actually have Dixon 1737, which is a leave-in conditioner. Yeah. Tell us about that. That's a product that really exists.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So Dixon 1737. The 17. I started cutting hair 1737 Albert Drive. That's what a lot of people are like. What's the 1737 stand for? So it comes from where I started off. I went full circle and named it Dixon 1737.
That's dope.
Leave-in conditioner, beard butter, beard oil, shampoo, and conditioner for your hair, like after you shampoo it. And I started that in like 2019. And it's something that I'm passionate about. Like a lot of black men, when we go to the grocery stores, we have a small section, sometimes just a little aisle with our little shelf space with like 5 products. And so I created something that where black men can go and use it, and it's catered for your hair. Specific. It's like soybean oil, jojoba, like different ingredients in it that bring out the curls, the shine, and make our hair look more luxurious. You got to say it like that. You can't just say, you can't just say it. Makes our hair look more luxurious. Makes it look more luxurious. So I like that, and for me, it was always wanting to be like when I look back, there was products. Like when you look at Instagram and it's like products when you were a kid, and it's like hair food and all that stuff. And I remember those products, Steakums. I remember these products. So for me, it's the next generation. I want them to look back, and it's Dixon 1737.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm on Amazon and on Walmart.com. I actually had a pitch meeting with Walmart. Went out there. I didn't get the gold ticket to be in the store, but that's coming.
Okay.
I got the silver ticket now. And it's online at Walmart and Amazon.
That's amazing.
It ships anywhere?
And my website.
It ships anywhere?
Ship anywhere. I got people in Luxembourg, France.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to say France.
France.
Yeah, I got people in Luxembourg, France.
You know what? We're gonna be in Paris in June. So when we get to France,
France.
Now we know. I'm glad that we know that.
Yeah.
Cool. You can find on Walmart, his website, and Amazon.
Yep. Dixon1737.com.
And you guys
DIXONS is the website.
Yep. And you guys will have all of his links afterwards. Yeah. Don't even trip about that. You're gonna know where you find everything you need.
And his appointment bookings,
Yeah, all that stuff. I think it's important for men to groom themselves because when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, people want to be around you. People want to be around successful people. Today's man likes to be well-groomed, and he wants to get his own product. We go to the store ourselves and get our own products. When our ladies went to the store for us, they would just pick whatever was there. They would pick whatever item was the cheapest, bring it home, and that's what you dealt with. So that's why I wanted to create something that captured you by the smell of it. And then when you put it on your hair, it's doing what it needs to do. That's why I created Dixon's.
So other than all of this, how do you juggle your 400 million girls, your family, because we know you're a father, and your career? How do you juggle all of that in a work-life balance? 400 million and one. No, I just, man, it's like, this is what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I know, and it's just what I do. I have my daughters on the weekends, so it allows me time, free time. And they're getting older, so now some weekends, but they're like, Daddy, we don't stay with our friends. So it's just, for me, it's always been about work. Dating is kind of hard because dating requires time.
Sure.
And sometime right now, I don't have the time. I can admit that I'm selfish with my time. It would really take a woman that's understanding, that's like, oh, we good on weekends. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just, I just juggle it and just continue to do it. Like it's as you navigate, even when I talk to people who are more successful they're like, because I'm like, bro, what do you do with your time?
Sure.
And they're like, gee, honestly, man, I miss my son's soccer game. Like, we just figure it out. We just figure it out, and that's just what it is. Just figuring out and just going.
You do what you can.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some stuff you just can't kind of
control. Some stuff you can't go.
We definitely deal with like very similar thing working in production. I mean, you know it. You've been around the game, and it's long days, 12-hour days, and you never know what time you're coming home, what time you're leaving. Yeah. And so even like with Kona, my dog, like I gotta have somebody watching her during the day. And, it's not like the same thing as having a kid, but I understand you kind of have something else to worry about, but you don't actually have the time to handle that while you're trying to handle your own business.
The most important thing, especially for anybody watching, is to get a significant other that understands your schedule. Because if they don't, then it's going to be a hard situation. It's going to be a lot of arguments and all that stuff. But if they do, because they're like, as a man, I'm just speaking, there are women out there that really don't want to be with you all the time. You know, they what I'm saying? They like, hey, 2 or 3 hours we see each other a day. Like, that's cool for me. Yeah. So if you can find one of them, then you good to go. But if you're a focused, driven person, and it's a woman or man that needs all your time, because they won't understand, that's going to be a hard battle, because it could end up with you drinking a lot of Jack Daniels all alone with your hand and some lotion.
Well, that's one thing that our relationship is about. Is I always wanted someone that understood production. And then some people ask us, they're like, "Oh, is it okay that you guys work in production? Because it's both crazy schedules." I would much rather know that like he has a crazy schedule and I have a crazy schedule, and I can text him and be like, "Hey, set's going longer." We're someone who understands set time compared to someone who'd be like, "Oh, really? Another hour or two? You don't know what time you're done?" And instead it's like, "Oh, okay, cool, babe." Or like 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Hey, you're going to have to cook dinner for like 3 nights in a row for yourself because I have the late, like, I think it was you doing the draft. And he was there till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay, I got to make myself dinner." But I understood. It wasn't really like days where sometimes he'll go on a day off and go get his haircut with you and I'm with the dog. And I'm like, "Cool, go. I'm not doing anything." But it's to understand that person and what they might need. Absolutely. I lived alone for 5 years. Before we moved in together, I was like, I'm going to need some alone time at times. And there's that boundary. And it's understanding of it, and I don't think it would work if we didn't understand, or even sometimes work in the same industry.
That's a very important thing that you said, because a lot of people take offense in a relationship when you say, "I need alone time."
And I did.
Like, you see, that happens. Alone time is good. Like, alone, we all need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, alone time is good, but people take offense. Like, they think it's like, "Oh, you don't want to be around me." No. Sometimes you just want to be alone, especially if you dated somebody who was the only child. It was a lot of alone time, because somebody's watching who's the only child. This is for you. And if you're
the black sheep.
Oh, the black sheep. Could have been the middle child.
Listen, I'm the middle child. I have 4 brothers, only girl. So when I've never shared a room until we moved in together. I've never shared anything until we moved in together. So I was like, "Listen, that room is my room." You see what I'm saying now? And then we have like our living space is ours, but there is a part of me that at times I gotta go and revamp myself. It's like otherwise I'm gonna get mad at you for no reason. It's not you.
And I definitely, like I said, it took me a little bit of time to realize, like, oh shit, it's not really like that. And also before we moved in together for real, she had mentioned it like before, so I was like, "Oh shit, we're gonna move in together and she's gonna be by herself the whole time." Then we moved in and she doesn't even use it. Like, she literally doesn't go time. So she doesn't. But I think me understanding why she says that and why she feels that way, and her just knowing that is available for her. She wants to go in the other room and sit by herself. She knows it's there.
But I can also claim it as mine, so I think that also feels good.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I know it's not bothersome because he hasn't complained in the barbershop. So you're good to go.
I see,
like,
and that's the funny
thing. If there was something wrong, he would have said in the barbershop, like, "God damn."
So I think that's something that's also funny. I always think about what happens in your chair, because there's like patient-client confidentiality with most things, and I think a barber has like a different level, because you guys could talk about, like, it's me and my nail lady. She knows who Marcus is. Like, you just know who certain people and things are in your life when you're that close. So like, what's it like getting someone in your chair and you're like,
"This is what it is." I'm convinced it's not me. It's not the barber. It's that barber cape. I don't know what it is. It's something about the cape. That barber cape is like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Yeah, because I'll get a dude to sit down in the chair. I'm like, how's everything going? Man, everything's good. My wife is cool. Everything's good. My kids are great. As soon as I put the cape on, I fuck 5 bitches yesterday. I'm burning right now. I hate my wife. Something's going on. And I'm like, what? And then as soon as I take the cape off, hey, what was I talking about, man? So I'm convinced it's not me. It's the barber cape that makes them tell the truth. And sometimes, and I'll know, like, I'll know if a dude is going to break up with his girl before she knows.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? Because he might be in the chair like, yo, as soon as we get home, breaking up with him. And I feel like texting her like, yo, you might not want to come home, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you know everything about people, and barbers are low key. We therapists.
Yeah.
Like, especially with me, I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. So I feel like, no Diddy, I have a degree in men.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like no Diddy, like I have a degree in relationship with men because I know how they are. Because I mean, I was a dude in high school, knew all the secrets, who was sleeping with who.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they telling me, but you know, in high school, you can't
like
hold
the
shit.
man
You can't hold shit. Like you have, and
it.
then we was just getting, so they my finger her under the steps. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm looking at her like, damn, she get fingered under the steps. She don't even look like that. You know what I'm saying? So like I knew all that stuff, and I just got to keep it in.
Yeah.
And but then at the same time, you talk to so many people, and you start to understand people. And I remember my therapist, because I was married for 5.5 years. I remember I had a therapist about 1.5 years ago, and I was talking to him about my ex-wife and our divorce, and he was like, yo, man, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. He said, not once did you blame her. Wow. You took fault in for what happened. And I said, he said, I think you deserve a lot of credit. And I said, well, isn't that normal? He said, no, it's not. I thought it was normal. He said, no, it's not. He said, a lot of times they'll blame the other people. But I realized I'm like that because I've seen people in my chair blame the other person. I never wanted to be that person.
Not be
it's dudes in my chair that talk about, hey, man, I mean, notorious cheats.
Right.
Like notorious cheats. Like, get more pussy than a single dude.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And they married. You know what I'm saying? But then when they get divorced, and they'll find out that their wife might have been doing something, and then they mad, like, man, I can't believe she was doing that. Hey, nigga, you know what you was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I never wanted to be that guy who never owned what he did.
Sure.
And just as much as I've learned from people, I mean, just as much information you get from people, you learn how not to be.
Yes.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Big time. And I definitely, like, even being the person sitting in the chair, I can definitely say, like, yes, like a therapist is like almost like what you really are to me, because for 15 years, I mean, there's things that like I've probably not even told my family. Like I just spoken about you, even like family issues we've talked about, like just as an impartial Black man that understands like some of the shit that I've gone through as a young man. Like it's dope to be able to have someone like that, like to always rely on, kind of just to even if you don't give a shit. Yeah. But like you're there and you talked, and it's always been cool. One
of the funny Marcus stories it was when I was cutting his hair over his uncle's house, and I went over there, and him and his cousin got into a fight. He apparently beat his ass, and he came down afterwards, and I knew his cousin, he was off, like I could feel his energy. And his other cousin was laughing. He was like, "Yo, upstairs, Marcus just beat his ass." That's why he liked that. And then Marcus just like, like he had that, because when you beat a motherfucker, you got that swag, you feel good. And I'm cutting Marcus' head. He like, he just reflecting about every punch that he did. But I'll never forget. And he was and it hurt because he was younger. So he beat up his older cousin. So from that, So from now on, he owned his older cousin. At the family reunion, if he in front of him, he like, nigga, get back inside. Get your ass back. He like, okay. But that was a funny, and the parents didn't know. That's what, like when you said no, the parents didn't know. But as a barber, I'm sitting there, and his cousin, I wasn't too fond of his cousin. He cool, but I'm sitting there, like, yeah, I'm glad you got your ass beat. Yeah, Marcus. Every punch was for what I wanted to do. Yeah, thank you, Marcus. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I love that
And I
shit.
whispered in his ear afterwards, hey, you don't have to pay me for this, Marcus. Take your time. So, but yeah, I'll never
Always
forget
got
that.
my back.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
That's too
great.
good.
Mhm.
That's a throwback for sure.
Yep.
Man, I might have to go hang out with Garrick.
Yeah. Sorry, cousin, if you're watching it, you know who you are.
Exactly.
But you know you got your ass beat that day.
Yeah, I had to hand it to you. You're talking a little too much shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And he realized Marcus was becoming older.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, I remember that. I was probably like 11, 12 years old.
Yep.
That's
Oh my
nuts.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
No more fighting.
I know. He's behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
It's behind him just like the hand. It's behind him. He
It's
ain't doing
behind
it no more.
exactly. Yeah, it's all out the window.
Yep.
The comedian over here. I'm crying. You gotta set him up with Khalil. My brother's a comedian.
Okay.
Oh yeah, her brother does. She does a little stand up, and actually, I kind of wanted to get into that a little bit because it might even help him when he watches this episode.
Yeah.
Like, what is it like when you go to get out on stage and like you're prepping, like knowing that like you could get not one laugh?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just as you go along, you get more confident in your act because you know pockets where people are going to laugh. But it's almost like being a ball player. When you got your go-to moves and you know you're gonna juke this dude every time, and then you got your go-to jokes, and if it don't work, now you're like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? It's like being in a ring boxing and you hit them with your best punch and it don't work. Now it's like, oh shit. And then that's when you see the sweat come.
Yeah.
And I wish that people could understand the mindset of a comic, because you can be in a joke and you're doing good and people are laughing, but you're thinking about the next joke.
one.
Like you're acting it out, everything, but you think about, oh, what am I going to do next? And all this is going on in your head while they don't know. So it's just the confidence of doing it. And the more you do it, the more confident you will become. But you have to, like what you cousin with, you have to do it because you have to be from the vision of on the stage looking out,
Sure.
not in the audience looking in.
Got it.
You got to get that view of looking out at those people. And you just really got to talk about, I mean, everybody's different, but from what I find, if you talk about what's real, and you can exaggerate it a little bit, but if you talk about what's real, it makes your stories better. Like everything that I've told y'all about in the chair, about Marcus and all that stuff, I can make jokes about it because it's real. And as for me, I'm seeing it as I'm saying it, because I'm visualizing with how Marcus was looking. Like I'm visualizing all that stuff. So I just say whatever comes to my mind. And as a comic, you can't be, I'm never afraid. You can put me in any situation and it's going to be a laugh. And it's been like that my whole life. Most humorous in high school, middle school, all that stuff. But I've never, like for me, I know it's different. I don't understand how people aren't that way. You think everybody, but some people, you put them in front of people, like public speaking is a wonderful thing.
It's
like,
hard, man.
like, yeah.
For me, I'm not a good public speaker for sure.
Yeah, and it's always, for me, it's just always been natural, but we're all different.
Yeah, big time.
But I'm not a smart person. Like, for me, math, like some motherfuckers can do math. And if you can do that, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm bombing in math. I'm like sweating and shit and everything. So.
But you make everybody laugh.
Yeah. I can make you laugh, but if you talk about numbers, oh no.
Nope.
That's funny. Do you ever, when you're out on stage, like you kind of, like you say, you got your jokes that you know you're gonna do? Do you ever like you say one and you get like a couple of chuckles and you're like, oh, I got the ass. Like,
oh yeah. Sometimes it's almost like I equate it to going to the club, like especially when we used to go to the club and get numbers. Like when we used to go to the club and get a telephone number, like when you walk in the club, if you get a number within the first 5 minutes, you hot for the rest of the night. Like you might walk out with like 11 numbers because your swag, you got a number the first 5 minutes. Your swag, you just first like, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? And you good, and you gonna walk out with 11 numbers that night. It's the same thing with comedy. It's like when you come out there, and then it's different audience. Like there's different audience. Like okay, the darker the darker the people are, the harder it is to make them laugh. Like you'll get white people to just laugh just out of courtesy. Even though you bring it back, you look at them, oh, it's so funny. But then like you get in a room with dark-skinned niggas, they like,
nope.
Nah, I got an uncle funnier than that, B. Fuck off stage.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when you go out there and you get them from the beginning, now you got the confidence, now you at your body movement and you confident and you know you got the audience. That's like the best feeling when you know you got the audience. And here's the secret. Bro, even the great Richard Pryor said this. I don't care, especially Richard Pryor to me is a standard.
Yep.
Richard Pryor said, no matter how many times you go on stage, only about twice a year, just imagine, only twice a year is when you have those amazing sets where it's like the comedy gods on you and everything is happening. And that's like twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's equivalent to when Jordan like hit the 6.
Yep.
That's funny. Back then it was a lot, 6 threes.
Yeah.
Now they do it all. But when you're in the zone and the players say the basket was that big,
Yep, exactly.
That's how it is with jokes. So I stuck my dick in her ass, and everybody and everybody like, you like, oh, they like dick and ass jokes. So
then you just let it ride.
Yeah, just let it ride.
That's funny you say that because what you said prior was that if a joke doesn't stick in the crowd, my brother actually, and I tell him his face, I'm like, you're not funny, he's funny. He's got a good stand-up, and his stand-up routine, and the first time ever doing a all-black crowd, he thinks his funniest joke is it's a black joke, and his whole thing is like it's a life skit. So he talks about his life and everything, and we're half black, half white, all this, this, and the other. And he's like, we'd always ask my dad, hey, why do you guys call your friends Monica? And all the white people would be like, if you don't know what Monica, say under their breath, and be like, my nigga. Right? So see, like the way he leads up to it, not a single person laughed.
Really?
And I don't know his way he delivered it or not.
Yeah.
But he was like, whoa, the one time I thought I would get a crowd, and he didn't get a crowd with that joke. And I was just like, but it is. It's like,
yeah.
It's tough.
It's tough. Yeah, you got to recover from it.
Yeah, and I think it was like, he did it up in like Long Beach. Usually he's down here in Hollywood, and he'll do his shows and stuff. And it was the first time I ever went to Long Beach. First, like, more black crowd than it was ever. And he was just like, my joke didn't hit. One joke. And I was like, that sucks.
It's like back in the day when we used to dance at clubs. I don't know how it is now, but if you go on a dance floor and you ask a girl to dance and she say no, now you got to walk back and you feel like everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
It's the same feel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The walk of shame.
Yeah.
Now it's different. Now I think the clubs are way too crowded and there's all girls inside.
Yeah.
Gee, what you mean you be in the club?
No, that's one thing. I'm getting older, man. I'm at dive bars or stuff like that. Like, I'm old. I'm old now. If I go to the club, my ears ringing all day. The next day, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Oh, I'm in the club like she could be my daughter, and I'm out.
Yeah, be like that though. Yeah, it's crazy that it is like, and I'm 27, but like I'll go to the club and I'm like, yo, some of these bitches are like 16, 17. Like, they gotta be because everybody nowadays. And I always wondered why people are like, oh, you look so young. And now I'm at 27. I'm like, shit, everybody younger than me looks mad young. Yeah. Like, and I don't even want to be, I don't want to be in a place where I feel like underage people are drinking and partying and doing all that. Like,
and add 20 to that, and I'm you.
Yeah.
I'm
so
add
20.
Scarier. So for me, they really look young. They look like they got pacifiers on their diapers.
At least you see them as young and you're not a creep.
Oh, yeah. Come get some of this old penis now. I'm not that dude trying to chop. Hey, here's a blow pop. Come here.
Oh, nowadays in LA, I got a Rolex.
Right.
Some sick motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. What haven't we talked about? We covered all career, all life. I just think you're a great, well-rounded person, and this is my first time meeting you. I might just step in the barber chair. You're not touching my hair, but
just come for do your eyebrows or something like that.
You're not touching those either. Okay. Sorry, got my eyebrow.
Garrick, he got the hot towel treatment.
Everything.
He gets you right.
I'll just come join Marcus for a day and hear what you guys talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about you the whole time.
Exactly. We did be talking about you. Watch some hoops.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's all you should be talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
And none of his women.
He just talks about how much he loves you. Okay. So it's just good. See, I feel like I already know.
Good. See? Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know you too. I feel like I knew about the ball spray before he mentioned it. You did. I made a joke the other day. I was like, yo, you ever come out with that ball spray? Yeah. And he was like, I don't think so. Let me ask. So let Marcus know when you come out.
Yeah. It was another one that I thought. Remember, Marcus, I told you, I said, if people can see how their haircut will look. Yeah. Like if you could remember how, and I thought about that. That was a good one. Don't steal it.
Nobody's gonna steal that shit.
But
you're gonna see that.
I remember we talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah.
Well, big moves.
Big moves, man. I'm so happy to have you on here.
Yeah,
man. This was dope for me because it really feels full circle. I'm sure it feels kind of like that for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, thank you again for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
my man.
Applause.
It was awesome. Guys, make sure you find Garrick on his YouTube, his Instagram. We'll make sure to include his app so you can book an appointment if you're out in LA. You want to get a nice fade, cut up, all the aboves us. I don't know what they're called. But thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yep. And thank you guys again for joining us on another episode of Making It with Marcus and Marianna. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Marianna.
And I'm Garrick.
There you go.
We'll see you next time.
Ciao.